Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the WD Broadcasting Network. I am your host, Winston Deal, getting ready for race number 5 of the Leave the Pack Street Stock Showdown. Tonight we are at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. We are going to go for 50 laps of action, and it's going to be an exciting one here. So we've got a points battle underway. This is our first time visiting Indianapolis Raceway Park with the new iRacing refresh that they've done on it. They've gotten all kinds of new artwork upgrades. Track looks a little bit different. Looks a lot better, in my opinion. Trevor Edwards getting those final practice laps completed. Right now sitting in the 8th spot on the charts. We'll look at their times. Fairly close throughout the field. Only 4/10 separating all 18 cars. As we have 3 minutes left. Justin Coleman in the 14. He's a winner at IRP in the Street Stock Showdown back in season number 1. That was race 3 of the season. He went to victory lane in a race that had 3 caution flags. He started on pole and took a trip to victory lane. That was back on July 17th of last year, just about a year ago. Dylan Connor in the 91 machine, sitting second in the point standings after last week's race. Did not have the best of luck in his home track, or in his home state of Virginia, I should say, at the South Boston Speedway. So we've got 1:55 minutes left now. Initially, it looked like we weren't going to be getting that good of a car count, but I think everybody showed up last second. They wanted to do some other official racing, I believe, beforehand. But everybody showed up to make a nice 18-car field. We're going to be ready to roll for 50 laps of action. Qualifying is going to be big here tonight. You want to be inside the invert. I think if you miss the invert, you kind of put yourself way behind the 8 ball. It's going to be hard to pass. You want to be up in those top 5. I believe the invert is a 5. These drivers do know it ahead of time, but it's very hard to hit it perfectly, especially if you try to. As 35 seconds now remain here in practice. Let's take a look at the schedule coming into tonight's race. Mark Keedeman, winner of the last 2 races at Southern National and South Boston, both of those smaller tracks, the smallest we've seen this season. Now we're going to go to the complete opposite and go to the biggest track on the schedule, Indianapolis Raceway Park. There have been 2 races prior in the Street Stock Showdown here at IRP. I believe both were 50 laps. The first one went into overtime. But the last one, Chris Smith in the 80 machine was able to walk away with the victory. That was his first in Leave the Pack competition. That was back on December 4th of 2024. We'll see if he can go back to back. And now it is qualifying time. These drivers are making their way trackside. We will get ready to send them for qualifying. These drivers will have 2 laps to get their best run in. 2 laps Whichever one is the fastest, that's the one we're going to take. The track record that these guys are trying to beat is going to be a 23.830. We'll get the results up from practice so we can see where everybody was at. Well, we'll try to anyways. As practice, or qualifying begins, I should say. Everybody out on track right here. The two-time champion, Brandon Elvis, still looking for his first win this season. He was second last week at South Boston. Second the week before at Southern National. Trying to break through and find the top spot. So Elvis comes back around, a 24.69 first lap time. That'll be quick time as of right now. Quick time for Brandon Elvis. As my timing and scoring resets on me, I'll try and get that figured out. There we go. So far, 11 drivers have taken time. Some drivers out right now. Jacob Hayes in the zero machine. Across the stripe that time to take the green flag, or sorry, the white flag. First lap time at 24.82. Looks like right now the track record set by Chris Smith last season is going to be safe. Track does not quite have the same speed in it this time around. Second lap time for Hayes. He'll jump up a little bit into the 9th spot. Next driver out on track. 14 cars have taken time. Next up is Christian Peterson. Peterson made his first start a couple weeks back at Southern National. We missed him last week, but it was a good race at Southern National. He had a lot of speed up at the front. Peterson puts it 5th quick, and as I say that, Dylan Connor jumps up to the top spot in the 91 machine. Quick time for Dylan Connor. The final car to take time. And it will be the fastest out of all 17 that have taken a time so far. Second lap time, he comes around. Goes nearly the same lap, but a 24.66 will put that 91 machine on top. As we wait for qualifying to finish up, I do believe everybody has made their lap. Jeremiah Woods, the only driver without a time, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it. So tough break for the 75 machine. Unable to make the call in qualifying. But nonetheless, the checkered flag waves. And we have completed our qualifying session. Dylan Connor ends up at the top of the board in the 91 machine. We'll get our qualifying results up on screen, I do believe the invert was a 5. Trying to get the results up on screen. Don't know what the deal is there. But for some reason, the result's not wanting to pop up. Anyways, we'll get the point standings up on screen. Mark Kedeman currently sitting at the top, 158. Dylan Connor is 10 back. Connor Knowlton third, 26 back. But Kedeman not able to make the call here tonight, so we'll see a couple of those guys further back in the top 10 kind of jump up a little bit. But so far, 4 races in, it looks to be a pretty close points battle up front. These guys are given 2 drop weeks throughout the season, so their worst 2 finishes, including any races that you missed, whatever 2 races out of the 12 race season that earn the least amount of points, they will be dropped. So we only count 10 of the 12 races. Makes things a little bit closer when it's all said and done. This warm-up session just about complete. See who's all available in voice chat. How about let's talk to our fast qualifier here tonight, Dylan Connor. Dylan Connor up into the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, well, fast time here tonight. I do believe the invert was a 5, so you're going to be rolling off from that 5th spot. We've got 50 laps here at IRP. Kind of a track that's historically tough to pass, especially here in the street stocks. What can you do to put the 91 machine back up at the front after 50 laps?
I think the main thing is, even though it's only 50 laps, I think it's keeping the tires on it. I think it's still slick, and I think if you can kind of sit back there and wait for some of these guys to slip up off that groove and stick your nose in there, I think that'll be your best opportunity to pass here.
Yeah, last season we saw a lot of action, and especially up towards the front, a couple of those guys maybe put a little bit too much heat in their tires, and that kind of made an exciting race at the end. But it's going to be an exciting 50 laps. You're going to roll off 5th. Who do you have to thank, Dylan, for the fast time here tonight?
I just thank everyone who supports me still, my family and friends and fiance, and all my sponsors, Chris and Alan Puryear with Caldwell Banker Elite, and hopefully we can put them in victory lane tonight.
Yeah, you're going to have a good 5th place starting spot, fast qualifier here tonight. Going to be good in the points, but nonetheless, 50 laps ahead of you. Wish you luck, and hopefully we can talk to you later on.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep. Alrighty, folks, that was Dylan Connor, your fast qualifier here tonight. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's race. We've got 18 cars coming to the green. The invert was a 5, and that'll put Christian Peterson on the pole in the 23 machine. He'll have Zach Murphy in the 29 to his outside. He's looking to turn things around this season. Hasn't had the best luck so far. We'll see what he's got at IRP. Row number 2 on the bottom, winner of week number 1 at Kern, Connor Knowlton in the 2CT. And then Brandon Elvis in the number 4 machine. Going to start from the 4th spot. Dylan Connor in the 91, your fast qualifier, going to roll off 5th. And to his outside, it's going to be the number 14 of Justin Coleman. Chris Smith in the 80 machine, winner last time we were at IRP in the Street Stock Showdown. He'll start 7th. Then Trevor Edwards in the 21 machine, going to start from the 8th spot. Riley Maricchio making his return to the Leave the Pack Street Stock Showdown, going to start from the 9th position. And then Easton Swain in the 33 will start 10th at his outside. Jacob Hayes and Matt Borndra in the Cottle Chassis duo make up row number 6. Back behind them, rounding out our field, it's going to be Connor Lee in the 51. Adam Fulford starts 14th in the 71. Then Justin Mulliken starts 15th in the 15 machine. Brandon Kelly starts in the 16th spot in the 9, and rounding out our field in row number 9, it's going to be Mark Keeler in the 108 and Jeremiah Woods Jr. in the 75. So an 18-car field leading us down the back straightaway for the final time before we send them green for 50 laps of action. Pace car makes the hard left turn down onto pit road, and these drivers begin the long turn through turns 3 and 4. They've got to wait for the iRacing restart zone. And the green is up. The green is out. We are underway here at IRP. Going down into turns 1 and 2. Christian Peterson going to try to take that early advantage. Down the back straightaway they go. They fan out. A couple cars side by side down into turns 3 and 4. And oh, caution is out. Big time trouble behind. Jacob Hayes up in the outside wall hard. Dylan Connor around, and the big one strikes here on lap number 1. Adam Fulford involved in the 71. Brandon Kelly in the 9 collected. Justin Mulliken as well. But a big chunk of it there was Dylan Connor. And I believe Adam Fulford as well in the 71. Let's take a look at what happened. That put us under yellow for the first time here to this evening. Looked like they were 3 wide on the exit. Let's try and go a little bit further back and watch that green flag one more time. 91 of Connor tried to go through the middle there, and just a little bit of contact, and around he went. Nowhere anybody could have gone. Adam Fulford involved, Easton Swain involved. Go on board with the 0 of Jacob Hayes. We'll see what he saw. Nothing he could have done. And oh, just about had it saved. And then hard up into the wall he went. I'll have to take a look at that contact one more time that began this initially. Nowhere for Adam Fulford, Easton Swain, Matt Borndra to go. Let's take a look at this one more time. Watching the 91 here up off the corner. Oh, it looked like the 4 machine of Brandon Elvis kind of came off the top right there. Looked like he might have been trying to squeeze 3 wide with Zach Murphy. Let's watch that one more time. You see the 4 machine. Yeah, just contact there. And around goes the 91. So I believe we will be going back green flag racing this time. As the field doubles up, they wanted to go single file there. As they go back through the restart zone, we're back underway. So green flag is back out. We're back underway. Had to make sure everybody was getting their black flag cleared. A couple of drivers got blacks from passing under the yellow. It was all planned, but had to make sure everything was A-okay We'll get timing and scoring up for you guys. Christian Peterson takes the early lead down the back straightaway. Brandon Elvis, Justin Coleman battle for the 5th spot back behind. Meanwhile, Connor Knowlton working underneath Zach Murphy for the 2nd spot. Murphy up top, Knowlton down low in the 2. Knowlton with a big lunge to the bottom, almost wanting to throw a slide job here. It's going to be fun to see how these cars slide through the center. It's tough to pass here at IRP, especially in the street stocks. You can be a little bit underpowered. You've got to keep the momentum wound up the best that you can. Out of 4 this time. Working to lap number 5. Zach Murphy still able to hold on to the 2nd spot. Another big lunge there to the inside from Connor Knowlton. He's able to get side by side there. But Murphy able to hold that outside lane and keep his momentum wound up on the top. Knowlton able to take the 2nd spot away down into turn number 1. There's Justin Coleman right there waiting in the wings. A little bit further back, this is for the 6th spot. Riley Maricchio underneath Trevor Edwards in the 21 machine. Looks like the 11 will take that spot away. Here comes Connor Lee in the 51. Able to slide up in. Trevor Edwards just wanted to get back into line for now. Currently sitting in that 8th spot. He's got Jacob Hayes and Chris Smith back behind him. Out front, Christian Peterson continues to show the way. 8 laps into this one. And things are starting to settle down after that lap 1 incident. I believe everybody but Dylan Connor able to continue on. Connor in the 91 had a big chunk of that one. As we're 3 wide up on the exit of the corner, Adam Fulford all the way down onto the bottom of the racetrack, trying to make that yellow line work. And he gets big time sideways up off the corner that time. That's going to lose a ton of ground. Fulford back to 15th. This time by, though, through turns 3 and 4, we work to lap number 10. Christian Peterson has about a 2-car length advantage as they work down the back straightaway. You see your field starting to get a little bit spread out. Brandon Elvis in that 5th spot, about a 5-car length breakaway, or sorry, 5-car breakaway, I should say. Starting to get some separation throughout the field. They are still battling outside of the top 10 right here, though. Brandon Kelly and Matt Borndren trying to get around Jacob Hayes in the 0. Hayes missing the front bumper on that machine after that first incident. No contact down into turns 1 and 2. Hayes all kinds of sideways. Kelly going to lose a couple spots there. Easton Swain and Matt Borndren able to get by. Christian Peterson in the 23. His lead starting to get a little bit smaller. He's got the 2 of Connor Knowlton right there on the backstretch. So you watch into turns 3 and 4. Only about a car length separating your front 2. Battle right here for the 8th spot. Chris Smith underneath Trevor Edwards. 21 of Edwards has not had the run to start the race that he's wanted. Right now back to the 9th spot, started in the 8th position. As here comes Connor Knowlton to the inside. A big send to the bottom. Kind of running Christian Peterson up just a little bit. Knowlton going to tuck back in the line. Not able to make it happen on that first attempt. Usually at IRP, it takes several attempts at pulling underneath the guy before you're finally able to make a big enough lunge to take that spot away. We're 15 laps in. It's 35 laps to go. Battle for the third spot. Here comes Justin Coleman to the inside. Coleman to the inside of Zach Murphy in the 29 machine. Murphy all kinds of sideways. There's contact off the corner. Justin Coleman trying to break his way onto the podium. We haven't seen him up there this season. As they battle, that allows Brandon Elvis to creep in just a little bit closer, back behind. Coleman looking to the inside once again. Right there is the two leaders in front of him battle. Looks like Coleman's able to pull alongside. He's slowly making this pass work. Murphy kind of slips up a little bit there on the top side. That's going to allow Justin Coleman to break free. Move Justin Coleman to third. And remember, he has a win here at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. In the Street Stock Showdown back in Season 1. We look back at this battle for the 10th spot. Jeremiah Woods side by side with Jacob Hayes. Hayes up the racetrack a little bit. Easton Swain in the 33, getting a little bit aggressive there. And oh, we've got a battle for the lead. Christian Peterson in the 23 machine trying to hang on the top side. Connor Knowlton trying to take that spot away down the backstretch. Into turn number 3 that time. Looks like Peterson able to clear Connor Knowlton, but here comes Justin Coleman back behind him. We've got 5 cars just about under a blanket here. Almost to the halfway point. Justin Coleman all over the back bumper of Connor Knowlton. He's really crept up these past couple laps. We saw him get around Zach Murphy. He definitely has a lot of speed in that 14 machine. You hear him slowly rolling back into the gas. You don't want to light the tires up and get the car sideways. Oh, and the caution flag flies. Jacob Hayes. Not sure what happened there, but the zero machine. And oh, contact. It looked like there was maybe some bumper tag going on with Easton Swain and Jacob Hayes. Oh, it looked like a big move there. Swain, you saw it happen that time. You could tell what Swain was doing. Let's watch this on board with Easton Swain. Watch one more time. It looked like they were battling pretty hard. These guys had been going at it. Look Looked like the tires were starting to get hot, but Swain, you could tell. We'll watch down the backstretch here. Oh yeah, Swain definitely got his money's worth there. I can assure you that. But Swain gonna unfortunately go to the back after that one. He'll lose his track position that he had up inside, or almost inside of the top 10, I should say. As this time by, they will get the 1 to go signal. Christian Peterson going to choose the bottom for this restart. He'll have Justin Coleman behind him. But Connor Knowlton in that 2 CT machine, he's been very fast early on. Got the spot from Zach Murphy. Let's see if he can take the lead from Christian Peterson. So we go down into turns 3 and 4. Pace car is off. And through the restart zone they go. Green flag is back out. We're back underway. Good start there from the 2 CT of Connor Knowlton. What can Christian Peterson do on the bottom? A big time move. Slide job through turns 1 and 2, but Knowlton gonna cross him over on the bottom. Peterson up top, Connor Knowlton down low. Big time move from the 2 machine. He slides back up. He's not gonna be able to hang on to it. He's got to get back out of the gas. Christian Peterson gonna lead back to the line, halfway in, halfway home here at IRP. Man, the restarts here are all kinds of chaos. Everybody so close after the spread that we just had. You got to try to get as many spots as you can early on. Justin Coleman now having to fend off Zach Murphy once again for the 3rd spot. Looks like he'll be able to clear off the corner. Here comes Brandon Elvis now trying to peek for 4th. And here comes Connor Knowlton once again, a big time slide. What a move from Connor Knowlton up to the top lane. He's going to be able to stay up top, but can Christian Peterson get him back here? Knowlton going to try to drive up on the outside lane. He'll cross back down to the bottom. Down into turns 1 and 2 this time. Connor Knowlton all over the back bumper. Meanwhile, back behind, don't look now, but here comes Trevor Edwards up into the top 5. Looking underneath Zach Murphy for the 5th spot here. As things are starting to heat up, we come back to 23 laps to go. 23 to go this time. Christian Peterson trying to fend them all off. Here comes Brandon Elvis to the inside of his ECR teammate, Justin Coleman. That's for 3rd. Coleman up the racetrack. Looks like Elvis able to take that spot with ease for now. Here comes Chris Smith to the inside of Riley Maricchio. That is for the 7th spot. Smith trying to repeat the success that he had last season here at IRP. Right now running in that 8th spot. Look at this, Trevor Edwards in the 21 machine up into the 4th spot. Gets by Justin Coleman right there. Coleman going to try to fight back. While the battle for the lead is still very hot, Connor Knowlton has not let Christian Peterson get away at all. This time by, it'll be 20 laps to go, 20 to go for Christian Peterson trying to hang on here at IRP. He's had all kinds of pressure from behind from Connor Knowlton in the 2. But can he hang on for the final 20 laps? Maricchio in the 11 machine to the inside of Zach Murphy. Move Murphy back to the 8th spot. Now Matt Borndren going to try to take advantage as well. Meanwhile, up front, Peterson holds a 2-car length advantage up off of turns 3 and 4. Brandon Elvis right there in the 4 machine. The 2 of Connor Knowlton started to maybe run out of steam a little bit. Oh, Brandon Elvis all kinds of sideways down the back. Hangs on to it, but now he's got Trevor Edwards up top. Trevor Edwards trying to take over the 3rd spot on the outside lane. Back down into 1 and 2. Edwards and Elvis side by side. They've got Connor Knowlton up in front of him. Knowlton slips up on the bottom. Here comes Trevor Edwards trying to make the outside lane work way up by the wall. Trevor Edwards the long way around. Make it 16 laps to go this time. 16 to go for Christian Peterson. Does he have enough to hang on? Connor Knowlton in the 2 machine. Might have burned up the tires just a little bit in that 2nd spot. He's fallen back to the 3rd spot at risk of losing that to Brandon Elvis. Another lap in the books, 15 more for Christian Peterson. Here comes Justin Coleman trying to go for 4th. And look at the racing we're having inside of the top 10. 4 cars under a blanket right there for the final spot in the top 5. Knowlton and Coleman a little bit side by side. Contact. Into 1 and 2. Looks like Justin Coleman able to take over that position. But up front, Trevor Edwards starting to look to the inside of Christian Peterson. Edwards in the 21 machine. He's got 13 laps to do it. Chris Smith able to get by Connor Knowlton behind. And oh, into turns 1 and 2. Contact Justin Coleman and Riley Maricchio. Bang fenders, they lose a ton of ground to your top 3. But Coleman able to take that spot for now. Up front for the race lead, here comes Trevor Edwards. Looking to the bottom. Christian Peterson up top, Trevor Edwards down low. They're side by side. There's contact off of turns 1 and 2. Edwards to the bottom. There's more contact. Christian Peterson trying to make that car work on the top side. But Edwards in the 21 machine. Using up the bottom. He slides up. Here comes Christian Peterson. Going to try to slide back to the bottom and cross him over. Not going to be able to do it. Move Trevor Edwards to the front with 11 laps to go. Edwards out front, coming back to 10 laps to go this time. 10 to go for the 21 machine. Down into 1 and 2 this time. We watch Riley Maricchio and Justin Coleman battle for the 3rd spot. Coleman up top, Maricchio down low. Chris Smith waiting in the wings, wondering which one of these guys is going to go first. Battle is on for the 2nd spot. Christian Peterson under fire from Brandon Elvis. Looks like he'll take that spot with ease. Peterson not able to put up as much of a fight. Maricchio in the 11 machine, still trying to take that spot from Justin Coleman. This time by, it'll be 7 laps to go. 7 to go for Trevor Edwards, trying to hang on to pick up Leave the Pack iRacing League win number 1. Justin and Coleman still trying to hang on in the 14 machine up on that outside lane. In the 6th spot, Chris Smith on the bottom. There's Christian Peterson right there in front of them as well for the 3rd spot. A little bit of contact that time. Riley Maricchio in the 11 machine. Up the racetrack, they're going to be 3 wide for 3rd. Back behind. And oh, Justin Coleman, what a save off the top side. How did he hang on to that race car? He was all kinds of sideways coming out of 4. Somehow he held on to it. This time by, though, it is 4 laps to go. They are battling very hard for that 3rd spot back behind. But 4 laps to go for Trevor Edwards. And Coleman again loose in the 14 machine, trying to hang on to that race car. He's lost a ton of track position and the tires. The tires might just be gone on that race car. We saw a similar story happen to Connor Knowlton in this 2CT. At one point, he was battling for the race lead. But with 3 laps to go, Knowlton has pulled that machine off the racetrack. And oh, Smith in the left side door of the 11 machine. Chris Smith wants to take over the 3rd spot. Out front, Trevor Edwards going to take the popsicle sticks this time. 2 laps to go. 2 to go at IRP for Trevor Edwards, trying to pick up his first Leave the Pack iRacing League win. Down the back straightaway. Edwards has this one in the bag. He's just got to make 4 more corners, 6/10 of a second. Brandon Elvis is a little bit too far back to get there. Meanwhile, for 3rd, Smith going to take over that spot. Dylan Connor 1 lap down, not going to make anything there. But final time around for Trevor Edwards. He's got just about 10 car lengths over Brandon Elvis into the final corner. And the checkered flag is out. Trevor Edwards wins at IRP. Brandon Elvis comes home 2nd. Chris Smith comes home 3rd. Jacob Hayes 4th. Riley Maricchio 5th. Matt Borndren 6th. Connor Lee 7th. Christian Peterson 8th. Justin Mulliken 9th. And Justin Coleman 10th. What a race here at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. Trevor Edwards was able to save tires a little bit better than everybody else. Goes from 8th to 1st and picks up his first ever Leave the Pack iRacing League victory. A good run from the 21 machine. We'll be right back in just a moment, folks, before we grab a word from our top 3 and finish things up here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Be back in just one moment. Alrighty, folks, we are back here on the WD Broadcasting Network. Let's see if we can't get the results up on screen for you guys. They haven't worked this whole stream. Not sure what is going on with the results, but we'll just do it with the tower on the left side. There we go. Trevor Edwards, your winner. Brandon Elvis, second. Chris Smith comes home in the third spot. We'll see if we can't get him up into the broadcast booth. Chris Smith, up into the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Alrighty, well, I got to turn you up for one. I had my volume all the way down. That's why everything was so quiet this whole stream. But nonetheless, third place here tonight. Started seventh. Kind of fell back there in that initial run. Things got pretty spread out. You were battling about the 6th to 7th position. And then that final run kind of came alive. It looked like some of the guys ahead of you might have burned up their stuff a little bit. And that 80 machine was right there when it was all said and done.
Yeah, man. Just try to save tire as long as you can here. That's a fun race overall.
Yeah, definitely looked like a fun race. You guys were battling pretty hard there, side by side for a good chunk of the race, and we had a lot of green flag laps. So definitely looked like a fun one here at IRP. Who do you have to thank, Chris, for third place run 2 times in a row here at IRP, or podium finish 2 times in a row at IRP?
First off, thanks my wife let me do this. We just had a kid, so she's in there watching him. So thanks for all she does. Say hey to my dad. I know he's watching. Elvis Coleman Racing. Thanks those guys. Barry Elvis Performance Fabrication, Coastal Performance Shop, and Coleman Designs for all the sweet paints.
Yeah, definitely was.
And
a sweet paint.
Thank you for broadcasting.
Yes, sir. It is a pretty sweet paint. I do like that car, Chris. I was meaning to tell you that before the season started, but now that we're here up into the booth, it's a good time to bring it to everybody's attention. That car looks pretty good. Visit Justin Coleman. But nonetheless,
Yep,
Chris,
he kills it.
He does. We've got 75 laps at 5 Flags next season. Probably going to be one of the longer races. 75 laps at a half mile. That one's going to be all about tire saving. What kind of notes do you have from tonight that you can transfer into next week?
Yeah, just try to be there at the end and just ride around. Don't fall too far back and just stay out of trouble if you can.
Alrighty, well, a good run for you here tonight, Chris. Third place spot. We wish you luck next week at 5 Flags. Oh, and congratulations on the newborn.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, that was third place finisher Brandon Elvis, and now for the 3rd week in a row, 3 times in a row, Brandon Elvis, second place finisher. You got a copy.
Hey, bud.
Alrighty, well, the bridesmaid 3 weeks in a row here in the Street Stock Showdown. Good for points, but I'm sure you'd like to see victory lane one of these days, right?
Yeah, man, I'm about to go try to catch the garter or whatever it is the groomsman throws over his shoulder. I don't know what I got to do to get a win, but I got to be up next eventually, right?
Yeah, I mean, second place 3 times in a row. Eventually, the cards are going to fall your way one of these nights, but it was still a good run. The 4 machine, you started in that 4th spot, kind of worked your way inside of the top 5 most of the night. You and Coleman were right there. Looked like just at the end, Trevor might have just had a little bit more tire and maybe some better track position on the restart, and he was able to get past before.
Yeah. He was saving more than I was. Pretty obvious, but I thought that maybe he got too far back. I didn't want to be caught in my pants down like I was last week, so I was saving more than the top 4 was and feel pretty sure about it. Just kind of riding and not letting them get away from me. I thought it was the right strategy. If it went green, it probably would have been the right strategy, but no, that late restart kind of messed up. I tried getting under Connor Knowlton there and just kind of got loose underneath him, and Trevor was able to get position on me on the outside and complete the pass on the outside, so I just let him go. I didn't want to race him too hard at that point, just let him kind of go and do the dirty work, and I just follow him up through there and just, like I said, he just had a little bit better tires there at the end, and was able to I couldn't do nothing with him.
Yeah, it's very tough to pass here at IRP, especially once you kind of get settled into the run, heat gets into the tires, it gets very hard to drive up and pass, but still 3 weeks in a row, second place finish, very good for points. You're going to be sitting pretty after tonight. Who do you have to thank for a second place in a row?
Yeah, just Barrels Performance, Chestnut Hill Restaurant, Coastal Performance, Coleman Design, my team at ECR, On Tap Dispensary Services with the On Tap with Steve and Brian podcast. Just you for putting this deal on, and I just want to apologize to, I think his name is Dylan Connor there at the start of the race. The 29 was like broad sideways in front of me, and I was trying to avoid him, and he was just kind of collateral, it looked like. But nonetheless, sorry to him for that happening. I don't really know what else I could have done there, but yeah, we'll try to get one next week.
Definitely going to be a fun one next week. 75 laps at 5 Flags. You're coming off of 3 second-place finishes. I think you're a winner at 5 Flags before. I'm going to fact-check myself. You were. Last time we went to 5 Flags, September 11th, 2024. You went to Victory Lane. Can you make it 2 in a row?
We'll see.
Alrighty, well, congratulations to you, Brandon, and we wish you luck.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, now we'll talk to our winner here tonight. Finally up into the broadcast booth, Trevor Edwards. You get a copy.
I got you, buddy.
Alrighty, well, 8th to 1st here tonight. It was a tough pass to track at, that was tough track to pass at. Let's try that again. All night long, and it looked like you kind of had something a little bit extra there at the end. Saved tires that early run. Everybody kind of got spread out. You were towards that 7th or 8th spot, kind of saving back towards the back, and then that late restart, you came to life, drove right up through the field, and made some things happen that I didn't think were possible. You got very close to the wall a couple times out of 2, kind of hung them out there, but made for a great race to watch.
Yeah, I knew after practice you'd run like 2 or 3 laps, and it was like 2% a lap if you were pushing it. So I was like, well, I'll just ride around. And watch them guys, top 5 or so, just went all out, and I'm like, okay, I guess we'll see what happens. And I just kind of stuck to the game plan, and I just started pushing it the 2 laps before that caution, was about a tenth and a half faster than the field. And I was like, all right, cool, like I'll be able to catch them with plenty of time left to pass them. And then caution came out, I was like, well, this is perfect. So after that, it was just like, all right, let's just go. And I got to Christian. Christian raced me really hard. That was fun. But I kind of knew that he kept on trying to, whatever lane I kind of showed, he'd block a little bit. So I just showed him I was going to the top and backed the corner way up and just pulled across because I knew that he didn't have the drive off that I did.
Yeah, it definitely looked like you had to be very calculated with your passes here tonight. We saw a couple big slide jobs up front in the beginning. They were good, but I don't think they're good for the tires, and ultimately you had to be good to the tires, and that's what you were here tonight, and that's what put you in victory lane for the first time. I think you actually ended up getting a hard charger as well, too, so that's going to be some bonus points in the bank as well. But a good run for you here, Trevor. Who do you have to thank for your first Leave the Pack win?
I got to thank everybody over at the shop. Man, those guys put a whole lot of work into the open setup stuff, and get to come run fix setup stuff just for fun. Got to thank Coddle Chassis. They always have it on dig on the open setup side, so that's about it. I just want to appreciate you for putting the league on and the broadcast. It's fun to go back and watch it.
Yeah, this one's definitely going to be a fun one to go back and watch. There was a lot of crazy moments, not even just for the lead. Everywhere throughout the field, there was a lot of cars sideways, a lot of cars throwing crazy moves. Definitely an all-around fun night here at IRP. But your 3rd start and Leave the Pack, you pick up a victory. Next week we go to 5 Flags. Can you make it 2 in a row in 75 laps there?
I hope so. That seems like it'll be a fun little racetrack in these cars, and long enough race that you might have to save a little bit. So should be fun, interesting, and anything that you don't have to run qualifying laps every single lap is kind of my favorite car at the moment. But I want to give a shout out. Hayes was backwards at one point on the racetrack and ended up coming back to 4th. So give him a shout out for sure.
Yeah, he was a close call for the podium. Almost got to talk with us up here. He actually was missing a front bumper, so even more of a shout out. Drove that thing up to the front without blowing it up. But nonetheless, Trevor, congratulations to you on your victory, and we wish you luck going forward.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, folks, that was my good friend Trevor Edwards up into the broadcast booth. Good to have him up into the booth. It's been quite some time. I think dating back maybe all the way to the Kalamazoo Clash way back in 2023. Travel back in time for a moment. That was, I think, the last time we got to talk to Trevor up into the booth. But nonetheless, great night of racing here. We'll run through our top 18 one more time. Trevor Edwards, your winner. Brandon Elvis, 2nd. Chris Smith comes home 3rd. Jacob Hayes, we talked about him, drove that car without a front bumper back up to the 4th spot. Riley Maricchio comes home 5th. Matt Borndren 6th. Connor Lee comes home in the 7th spot. Christian Peterson led a lot of laps, ends up in the 8th spot here tonight. Justin Mulliken 9th. Justin Coleman comes home 10th. Jeremiah Woods comes home in the 11th spot. Adam Fulford 12th. Zach Murphy comes home 13th. Easton Swain 14th. Brandon Kelly 15th. Mark Keeler comes home 16th. Connor Knowlton 17th. And your fast qualifier, Dylan Connor, comes home 18th after that lap 1 trouble. But that is going to do it for us here, folks. We'll look at the schedule one more time. You guys can see 5 flags next week, and then Slinger after that, 100 laps up in a couple weeks. That's going to be a fun one. You're not going to want to miss that one. 100 laps around the quarter mile. One of the shortest tracks on iRacing for sure. And it's going to be an action-packed night. You're not going to want to miss it. But that's up in a couple weeks. Thank you guys for tuning in to tonight's activities. If you haven't already, hit that red subscribe button. But until the next time, I am your host, Winston Neal, signing it off from the WD Broadcasting Network. Talk to you guys later. Peace out.